according to Khabib, who's a pretty straight guy, we've never seen Khabib come out and swerve anybody for attention, right? He says we are in talks with Conor, and he says that is appears to be at this point moving forward. I believe him. I mean, that just makes sense. They can't go to Tony. You have to remember that. We're not sliding Tony, you and I and everybody. We're not doing it. He's out. Tony's got an injury that, typically can take anywhere from that 6 to 8 months with rehab. That's just to be back in full swing. We may not see Tony for a meaningful period of time. I would really suspect till about this time next year. So I want to make that clear. We're not sliding Tony, but he's off the table. Conor's in some red tape, but he's not off the table yet. And maybe it is best if you're worried about a travel ban and some other stuff that you might have to deal with Conor, to go ahead and get this out of the way before any convictions do come down. Maybe. But that's an element that whoever thought we'd have to consider that. Well, now that's got to come to the table. So we'll see what happens there. But you're right. If we took Khabib and Conor out, who goes? And I would also love it. I'll take the most violent man in the UFC. I'll take the good guy of the UFC, who's Poirier, and I'll take the cocky son of a bitch that it's a man of his word and gets done. He puts that baseball right where he points to when he walks to the mound, and Kevin Lee. I mean, come on. I think any which way you do that, at the end of the day, it ends up with Kevin Lee. It might start with Eddie. It might go to Poirier. The belt. I'm talking about the belt. It could jump around. But ultimately, you look at the youngest guy in the room. The youngest guy in the room who's got the most shelf life and the most opportunity. Eventually, whether it's next or not, eventually that spot goes to Kevin. I was blown away with that performance. And it also leaves you with just how good is Tony Ferguson. I know he's good, but just how good is he that he could deal with that maniac and get his hand raised? That was a war. Their fight was a real classic fight. And Tony came out on top, and I didn't think it had the attention on it that it deserved. But in hindsight, now that we're starting to see and everybody's starting to understand just how good this Kevin Lee is, it then does leave you with just how good is that Tony Ferg, man? Could have he stopped Conor? Would have he beat Khabib? You're left with these questions, and generally in this sport, we're not. We get answers. We get resolution. But right now, we're in kind of a weird spot.